Hey guys, so what happened today? I got the first scratch in my Stellar SEL. This boat's a little more than a year old now to me. And loading it up, I missed the V's and it hit a bolt on the top of the rack and put a scratch in it. Little bit of advice here is I'm using Scratch X2O Fine Scratch and Blemish Remover. Just a little bit of like buffing compound or scratch removing. I'm going to use this and just rub this area, and this thing should just buff right out. So let's take a look. First of all, here's the scratch itself. I know a lot of people are going to say that's nothing, but it really bothers me. The first scratch is always the hardest to deal with. So I'm going to try to buff this thing out. Let's see how it goes. So I've put some of this scratch removing compound, this buffing compound, onto a little rag here. And I'm just going to hit this guy. I'm going to work it in a circular motion and just work the area a little bit up and down the length, and I'm just going to work it here. This isn't abrasive. Some people actually say you could use toothpaste because it's a fine abrasive and it should help remove scratches. I'm just going to work this slowly, maybe apply this stuff a couple times and see what we get here. Hey, so I just wanted to wrap this video up. User error on my phone out in the driveway. I was taking pictures when I thought I was taking video of the end. The moral of the story is if you get a light scratch in the gel coat of your boat, just hit it with a good buffing compound or like a scratch removing compound that I've been told, I've never tried it, but I've been told you can actually use toothpaste in a pinch. Rub it in a circular motion. Just kind of work it. Don't, overwork it, but just try to smooth out the scratch as much as possible. Wipe that off and then hit it with a good coat of car wax, high quality car wax. And I would suggest you do this with your boat annually anyways. Clean it really well. Actually clean it with a rag soaked in rubbing alcohol. Get all the grime and grease off of it and then give it a good car waxing. So that's your tip for today. Take care of the scratches right away. The first one's always the hardest. I hate scratches in my boats. I've been babying this SEL now for a year. And, you would think it would be a rock or something on the river, but no, I actually scratched it putting it on my truck. So, dumb. Anyways, training update. I now have purpose in my training again. On August 1st, there's a race on the Dan River in North Carolina. I don't know the name of the town. I just found out about it, but it's the Dan River race. I think it's only like a 2 or 3 mile race. It seems to be kind of family friendly, more of a recreational race, but I'm really thinking about going to do that race just to support one of the few races running this year and, meet new people and check it out. So I would be taking probably a wreck boat, something very reasonable. I don't want to just roll into town and act like super competitive dude. I just kind of want to blend and check it out and get a feel for the vibe. Then on August 8th, there's something called the Richmond Paddle Cup race. I don't know when it was announced. I just found out about it on Friday. It's done by a stand-up paddleboard company called Crosswind Paddle Company, and they added a kayak portion to the race when the James River Association was no longer running the James River Rundown, which was an ultra marathon race that was gaining popularity here on the East Coast. And I think if they would have stuck with it for a couple more years, it would have been a hugely known race, but they decided to not run with it anymore. So these Crosswind paddle people decided to add a kayak portion onto their stand-up paddleboard race to take up the slack where the James River Rundown left a void. Now these people, they're not primarily kayakers, so they lump everybody into two categories. It's a 22-mile race, and it's just male, female, kayak, canoe. That's the only divisions they have. So I think it's important to support this race. I'm trying to get as many paddlers to join me on this race. Again, it's August 8th this year. If we can get some more people involved, hopefully that will give them the encouragement to keep developing this race as a kayak race. And then we can talk to them about, the need for different divisions and different boat types and whatnot. But that can only happen if we get more paddlers involved to support this race. They do it as a fundraiser for the James River Association. So I'm trying to get everybody I can to do that race. It's in Richmond, Virginia, actually just west of Richmond, Virginia. August 8th. Check it out. Do a search on the Richmond Paddle Cup, and you will find it. It's on Paddle Guru to register. Go do that. I'm going to be doing that for sure. It's a 22-mile race. I'll be there. Hope to see you there. Hope to paddle with you. That's the first race I'm training for now to be pretty competitive. I really want to compete well in that race. And then, of course, at the end of October, I'll be doing the Chattajack 31-mile race. So now I have a purpose in my training again. Yesterday I did 10 miles, just flat water paddle, kind of zone 2. I didn't really crush it or anything. And then today I did 18 miles. My family, my kids, my wife did a nice little Father's Day dinner for me last night. So today I said, hey, I want to go paddle. So I paddled with paddling buddy Dave. I did 18 miles. He did a little bit less. And then after that, I went to my local burger joint, a favorite of mine now. It's called Riverside North. If you're ever in Charlottesville, Virginia, go check them out. They're a family run business. They just bought this business in February of this year. And then immediately the pandemic hit and they had to close for a week. So I feel very bad for them. But I've gotten to know the family now. I've gotten to know the staff. And their burgers are sourced from high-quality, grass-fed, local beef here in the Charlottesville, Virginia area. And my standard order is I go in there after a training run, and it's always a bacon double cheeseburger with mustard, pickles, lettuce, and no bun. I try to be as low carb as I can be, no sugars, no grains. So I highly recommend this restaurant if you're ever in the Charlottesville area. Go check out Riverside North. And I think that's it. That's how to do a Gelcoat scratch repair for a light scratch and what's going on in my training now. I've got a purpose with some races coming up. I hope to see you on the water. Until I see you again, be healthy, be safe, train hard, and let's support whatever races are running this year. Take care.